Hey, what's going on, guys? Jay here from Easy Blade. Today we're going to do a skin taper tutorial. So first thing we're going to do is grab our outliner, T outliner that is. I'm using a Babyliss Pro, and we're going to skin out the back. And we're going to do that right under the earlobes. So that's kind of like my guide for that skin line. And right here, we want to go right to the top of the ear. Not all the way at the top, but like I guess the top part of the ear. And you can see what I'm doing right here. You want to do that on each side, guys. Next we're going to do is grab our clipper, and we're going to go ahead and create a guideline. This particular clipper is a Wall Senior. You can use Andis, you can use whatever you want. You want to make sure that you open up your machine all the way, and you just want to create a guideline. So you're going to create that guideline, and you want to make sure it's a good enough space on that guideline, because when we take out that skin line, we want to make sure that we have space to blend it out. A lot of new barbers end up going too high when they try to take that skin line out. That's because they made the guideline too small, probably initially. Do the same thing on the side over here, and now growing that to the top of the ear. So I'm growing that guideline to the top of the ear. So you can see where our sections are at and where the guidelines are starting at. So you want to just calm down, don't go crazy, and grab your 1.5. And you want to flick your wrists. And what we're doing right here is just, you know, making some room to fade, guys. And you can see that that goes right in the area, like in the mid part of the ear where that big clip goes. It's not doing too much. Same thing over here on the side. You want to make sure that you do the same exact thing. You want to do that on the east side. What I did was I went around the ear a little bit just to get the hair from around the ear. You don't want that part to be darker than everything else, because then that makes the fade look kind of weird. And as you can see, I'm going over here as well. So it's kind of like just, you know, making some, you know, making some nice, using a clip to make a nice transition, basically, right there. Doing the same thing over here. I'm gonna go behind the ear, same thing as well. It's not doing too much, but it does give it a nice transition between each clip. Okay. Again, it cleans it up nice and clean. Next thing you want to do is grab your 1 guard, and you want to go ahead and start to taper that guideline out. Now the guideline is not going to go anywhere until we drop down to our half clip, but we're right here with our 1 clip. And as I get higher, I'm opening up that lever, and I'm letting that guard transition into the previous guard. And since we're back here, I want to go ahead and drop to my half, and we're going to go ahead and taper out our first guideline. So what we did was we grabbed the half, we closed it, and as we get higher, we're tapering out that guideline. So as we get higher, make sure you're opening that lever, guys, and tapering out that guideline. We want to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing. Since we're back here, we're just going to taper this whole thing out. So what I did was took off that half guard and closed my machine all the way. Now, if your machine is 0 gap, it will take out that initial skin line. As you see, mine is 0 gap, so it's nice and sharp. And as I get higher, I'm transitioning into that first guideline that we made. Now remember, the machine closed. As I get higher, I'm opening it up. Now, if you can visually remember where you put that first guideline, you won't make any lines. You won't create any new lines, guys. All right, since I'm back here, I'm gonna go ahead and shape them up. So what I'm doing is just making 2 straight lines, just going down. So what I did was I'm doing my line on this side, and it looks nice and clean, guys. And you want to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Same thing. Look at the other side, make sure it's nice and even, and we just lined it up. And there's your taper in the back. Starting to go around the ear just a tiny bit right there, but I'll work around the ear once I get to the side. All right, guys, same steps. So I'm going to drop down to my 1 guard, and I'm going to slowly taper it as I get higher. Notice me opening my lever. What I did right here was drop down to my half guard, and I'm tapering it out nice and smooth, guys. Not too high. Now what I did here, same steps we did in the back, drop down to the 0. And if your machine is 0 gapped, you're going to be able to take out that guideline. And as I get higher, I'm basically opening my lever and going into our first guideline. Now here I am tapering out the beard a little bit just so I won't have a hard line. So when we go to shape up that beard, it would be nice and transition. Now what I did here, opened my machine up all the way and kind of went to the corner of the ear. Okay, I just don't want there to be any hair right there. I want it to just blend right in. So the reason why I did that, I just went around the ear, open that machine up all the way, and just make sure, it gives it a nice transition. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my T outliner. I'm gonna start to go around the ear. Now, around his ear is naturally high, so I wanna be careful. I don't wanna go too high. If you go too high, it's gonna look weird. So what I did was kind of use his natural line and just went a little higher right here. We're gonna start shaping our beard. I'm gonna start working on the outside line. So what I did was started to shape it at the jawline, and I'm gonna go to the other side, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here. We got our half. We have our 1 guard, and we're gonna drop down to our half, and then we're gonna drop down to our 0. Same steps all the way around the head, guys. Nice and easy. Follow the steps, follow your guidelines, know where they're at. Same thing, blend it out the beard. Same exact step, guys. Going around that ear, nice and smooth. Don't want to go too high on this particular customer. And gonna start at the jawline. Now remember, I lined up each side burn on the side, and all I'm doing is making an L shape and connecting to the other side. And then we'll start to work on the top of the beard. And as you can see, the sideburns are nice and transitioned right into the taper, so it looks like nothing was there. So it's not like a hard line, guys. So what I'm gonna do is grab an Easy Blade straight razor, some Easy Blade shave gel, apply that on there. It's translucent, so you can see exactly what you're doing. Go ahead, use our straight razor, start to shape them up. Make sure you're pulling that skin tight as possible, leaning that blade at a 30, and shaping up that beard. See that beard is coming out nice and tight, and that's what we have on this side. So we got our taper, we got our beard on this side, and we're gonna do the same thing on this side. I remember, I'm just connecting that beard to the other side, nice and calm, making an L. I'm gonna go ahead and shape out the top, same thing, and then that detail is gonna come when I apply that straight razor, of course. Put the shave gel on there, and we're gonna go ahead and shape this side up as well. Again, the beard is nice and transitioned right into the taper. No hard lines, and the beard is nice and tight. And this is what we have on this side, guys. All right, there's your taper, haircut, and beard. Thanks, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Jay here from EasyBladeShavingProducts.com.